Hi, everybody. I'm Rihanna Babulherji. I'm the Assistant Program Director Operations at University of Toronto MSc Program in Genetic Counselling. Welcome today. So Stacey, Purnur, and I are going to lead this section of the preparing your application, and then hopefully we'll leave enough time at the end for questions if you have. I'm going to start. All of this information is on our website, and the URL link to our website is here on this slide. I've taken a lot of this information from the admissions section of our website. Because the Genetic Counselling program is part of the NMS match, all of the applicants that are applying to the MSc program at U of T in Genetic Counselling, as a matter of fact, to any and all Genetic Counselling programs in North America, you have to register with NMS first. And then you'll get a number. That number you need to put on your application form on the prereq form, and you'll see what I mean once you apply. The prereq form will download, and you'll see an area where you need to put in that NMS number. You need to apply each year for NMS. So if you applied last year and you got a number, you cannot use the same number for this year. It has to be every year. We require for your bachelor's degree, what it's in, it doesn't matter. We've had candidates that have come to us with a bachelor's degree in music or in arts, as long as you have the prerequisites that we require, and the list of prerequisites is on our website. We do require that you have at least a B+ in those prerequisites. This is something new that we put on our website this year, and we recognize that it has generated a lot of questions and a lot of anxiety, where we requested that prerequisites be completed in the last 5 years or less. We recognize that, this was in somewhat a last minute sort of addition on our website, and it may not have given prospective applicants time to really consider this. And so we will take this into consideration when we're reviewing applications. Transcripts, so you need to upload your transcripts onto the portal, and if you're offered an interview, you will be asked to bring the official transcripts with you or mail them. The School of Graduate Studies requires that a CV be uploaded to the portal, and so we're asking for a maximum of 2 pages. And if English is not your first language, then an English language facility test score. Okay, who is next? Next, please. Okay.
So this is mine. So again, there's the link to our website with the admission detail at the top. So Carlos spoke a little bit about the experience. So we do require experience. So either paid or volunteer. The experience we want is in a place where there's some development of communication, interpersonal skills that is one-to-one. So again, the most common are the crisis intervention or distress line, which can be text, family planning center, or peer support line, where you're getting a bit of one-to-one experience. We get a lot of questions about whether we expect genetic counseling experience or volunteering in a counseling clinic or in a genetics clinic, or the work as a genetic assistant. And none of those things we expect. That's certainly not what most people are going to have. And in some of those scenarios, you're not getting one-to-one experience anyway. So the experience that we want is the one-to-one interpersonal counseling experience. We do ask for responses to 3 biographical type questions. We have a word count, so please make sure you check the word count and don't go over the word count. Have someone read it over, show your passion and your understanding of genetic counselors and genetic counseling, the genetic counseling profession, in the answers to your questions. Carlos talked about the references. So one must be academic, so someone who taught you in a university setting. And then another one from someone who can speak to your communication skills. Now, whether that be from a distress line or someone other scenario, work or volunteer, that could speak to that. We don't have a GRE requirement, where some of the US schools obviously do, based on their process. Our deadline is the first week of January, as you see. And the the applications get screened by the preneur at the university, and the program will not see any that have missing or incomplete information. And we conduct our interviews between March and April of spring. We are planning to do those interviews virtually at this time in order to ensure that we have broad access for students all over North America. And then the match date is April 17th. So prior to that, I think that's the match date, right? That's not the date you have to put in your scores. So after your interview, all students have to rank their programs rank their students, and then on April 17th, we all get the results of the match.
Okay. Our application process is holistic. So what I mean by that is that for one application, we have about maybe 3 or 4 reviewers that review that application, plus a member of our leadership. So it's not just one person that's assessing the application. We have several faculty members that are reviewing the application. And so we just don't look at grades. We just don't look at the biographical statements. We just don't look at the references. It really is holistic. We look at all parts of the application. And there are prospective applicants that say, well, there's so many different programs, genetic counseling programs in North America. What makes you unique? What differentiates you from other genetic counseling programs? I would like to say that our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, among many other things, our faculty are amazing, our students are amazing. So this is just one big component of a big component where we are really making a commitment to bringing in students of diverse background, and not just bringing them in, but also creating a culture where we feel that they hope that they belong. And that's our commitment. And these are the different ways that we're doing that. I'm not going to read them, but these are just the different ways. What I do want to highlight, though, is that we have heard feedback from prospective applicants that one of the barriers to applying to a genetic counseling program is the application process. There are just so many components and moving parts that they often don't know whether they're doing the right thing. And this is why the leadership of the U of T program has created these virtual office hours to answer questions. And so there is a member of a leadership team that is going to be available for the remaining dates, December 11th and 18th. You can go to our website and there is the Zoom link that's there, and it is from 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll be happy to answer your questions regarding the application or any other parts of it.
These are the program fees. So you can see the difference between domestic students and international students based on the fee schedule for the University of Toronto School of Graduate Studies. There are some opportunities for scholarships and bursaries, both for new and returning students. So our program specifically has an entry scholarship of $10,000 and a returning student scholarship of $10,000 that we award yearly. There are some bursaries available through the University of Toronto, and there are a number of awards, graduate study awards through the School of Graduate Studies, which we direct students to look at and determine whether they're eligible for, and to help with the fees.
I think this is me. So for the application process, everyone applies through the School of Graduate Studies. The link for the application portal is on our website. I strongly recommend that if you are applying for our program, that you actually visit the departmental website and not just the School of Graduate Studies website to learn more about the program, and also for the detailed outline of the different steps for the application process and the admission requirements. So to start your application, you would create an account in the SGS admissions portal, which will open up a page where you have to complete a questionnaire about like personal information. Then you will go on to submit your transcripts, put in information about your post-secondary education, submit information about your references, and that will be the first step. And also include your CV. That is the first submission step. And when you go, once you've submitted that part of the application, it takes you the second part, which allows you to submit your personal profile form, your prerequisite form. It also allows you to pay the application fee for the program. So that's the first section. In terms of your for your references for their emails, I strongly recommend that if you're interested in applying for the program, please start your application early, so that that you're aware about the different admission requirements, and that you also get access to the different forms that you need to access to complete your application in time by January. The university is closed in December, so there are a few weeks when none of us will be available on email to answer your inquiries. And then in terms of non-institutional emails for your references, please give me a week or two notice so that I can actually follow up with the respective references to verify their non-institutional email addresses. The way to identify if an email address is non-institutional is that you will actually get an error from the application portal when you input that email address saying that this is a non-institutional email address. If you get that error, please reach out to me, which is why I'm strongly suggesting that you start your application a few weeks prior to the submission deadline. And yeah, I think as Stacey mentioned, the University of Toronto does have a lot of awards and scholarship opportunities. Not as many for a professional or for a course-based program, but I strongly suggest that you visit the SGS admissions website to look into the different awards that we have. There's a huge variety of them, so please look carefully and apply to any that may be applicable to you. Next slide, sorry. Yeah, so this is what the application portal looks like. So for first-time users, you would create a new account. For students or applicants who've already applied to the University of Toronto admission portal at some point for graduate studies, you would be a returning user. And I think if you have forgotten your password, if you don't remember the login information, UFT does, so you might end up with 2 accounts, but it leads you to the same portal or overall page. And then the personal contact information is the first application step, and you would just go through the different tabs to complete the first part of the submission. And then the second submission step looks kind of like the third slide that we have in the top right corner, where you would download the different forms, complete them, and then submit them onto the portal. You should be able to follow the checklist that's inbuilt into the admissions portal, and just if you are applying, make sure everything is green and checked off by January 5th, 2024. And if for some reason, if you have reached out to me over the winter break in terms of your references or a non-institutional email address, please also send me an email saying urgent title in the subject line, so that is one of the first few emails I check when I come back from the winter break, and we can get everything processed. Next slide. I remember why we included academic history. If you are taking courses outside of your program, for example, if you're taking the embryology course at the University of Cincinnati, you could include University of Cincinnati as another institution under academic history, or if it's easier, you can just include that as part of the prerequisite form for your application process. Rihanna, do you have a preference? Do you prefer them to list it under academic history or just include it in the prerequisite form?
I think the prereq form is the best place, because this is where the leadership team looks to make sure that all the prerequisites have been met.
Okay, perfect. Then I guess the only other thing I would add to academic history is that if you have attended multiple post-secondary institutions, institutions that are required or are part of your current program that you're graduating from that are not study abroad programs or something like that, please include them under academic history. So for example, if you maybe started your studies at the University of Alberta, you completed a semester there, and then you transferred over to McMaster University, we would require you to still include the academic history for the University of Alberta and for McMaster University as well. College programs or programs that are not contributing towards your BSc degree or the degree that, or the admitting degree, which would be your 4-year undergraduate degree, you don't have to include those on here.
Okay, and go back to me. So here are some resources that could help you in preparing your application. So one of the organizations, which their website still calls it the Association of Genetic Counselling Program Directors, but they're changing their name to Genetic Counselor Education Association. They have a prospective student section that offers some valid information that might be helpful as students develop their applications. Sally mentioned the Genetic Counselling Mentorship Program through the CAGC, so that's on their website where you can obtain a mentor. And then the NSGC, the National Society of Genetic Counselors, also has tips on how to prepare a strong application. So those are just helpful resources.
This is our wonderful faculty, leadership, are there current students, past students, our admin, and we have to put, I'm going to take a screenshot of Pranur and add it to our PowerPoint so that she's also there as well, because she's an integral part of this whole process. Okay, I'm going to stop.